All right, guys, good evening. Good evening. Welcome aboard to our weekly recap of the market and our signal service. Glad to have you on board. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of GAR Capital. Let's all go ahead and begin. Hope everyone had a nice week this week. Let's go ahead and go over the week itself in terms of the stock market. We already know what happened today. Dow just today. Dow was down 108 points. Nasdaq down about 0.68, and the S&P down about 0.37. The VIX down about 6.62%. But let's go ahead and focus for the week since that's what we're recapping. The Nasdaq gained 3.82% this week. The S&P up about 2.5%, 2.58. The Dow is up 1.25% this week. Small caps were the laggard, of about 0.49% this week. So a green week across the board. A couple of stats. Third straight weekly gain for the Dow. Fifth straight weekly gain for the S&P. Eighth straight weekly gain. That's 2 months in a row for the Nasdaq and the Russell. 3 straight weekly gains. So nothing like price to change sentiment, as always, right? If you guys remember just last October, the world was ending. We were going to chop around forever, and that has changed, obviously. So first thing we're going to do after we went over the actual setup in terms of how we did this week, let's go ahead and go over the economic calendar. Monday, the market is closed for Juneteenth holiday, so no trading on Monday, unless you're trading futures or Forex. Not much going on this week. Fed Chair Powell is going to testify, I believe, in front of the House Financial Services Committee. That'll be at 10 a.m. We also have unemployment claims. We have that every Thursday. Fed Chair Powell is going to testify in front of the Senate Banking Committee on Thursday at 10 a.m. That is existing home sales, flash manufacturing PMI, and the services PMI. We'll take one more step to the week after, and again, pretty quiet as well. So again, kind of rounding out the fact that not much news or catalysts are on the way. We really don't have much for the next 2 weeks other than Powell speaking, and then we have a couple of data points like GDP and core PCE. That's another inflationary reading. We just had CPI and PPI, so let's go over those numbers. CPI came in better than estimated on a month-over-month basis. Year-over-year, same deal. The core CPI met expectations. Core PPI met expectations, but the regular PPI was down 0.3%. That was better than expected. Again, lower. Fed funds rate, FOMC, they paused this week, 5.25%, excuse me. Retail sales were better than estimated as well, 0.1. Well, actually, met expectations, 0.1%. Unemployment claims came in higher than expected. Industrial production came in lower than expected. Trying to see what else stood out. Empire State Manufacturing Index came in way better than expected on Thursday. Stocks did react to that. This past Friday, we had, or today, University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment, 63.9. That beat expectations. I wrote a note about that on the blog. So before we get into how we did this week, the blog is free of charge for everybody. If anyone is interested, just go ahead and type in gar.capital. That is our official website. It used to be a different one, but we went ahead and switched it. Go to pricing here, and you're going to go down to, not sure where to start, get the free plan, join up our market blog, give us a chance, give us a shot, see what you like. If you like what you see, maybe you do join our service, and we'll go from there. But that is the website, gar.capital/pricing. Start on get free plan. All right, so let's go ahead and move this over. Time to get started on recapping the week. Let's go ahead and start with options. So here's our options this week. Disney, we had for over 2 weeks put, so tells you how hard it is to short in this market and close minus 100%. Worthless. Caterpillar, we took that 11% just to be careful. We were ahead of CPI on Tuesday, so we closed that. That thing went as high as 200%. Let's go ahead and chart it together. We're going to go to Caterpillar. First Caterpillar, 245. Were we in the money? We were in the money. I forgot to update everybody, but I'm pretty sure everyone closed that. Again, we were right here when we opened, I believe, on Monday. I think it was we were open 612. So again, let's go to 612. We're right here on 612, right around 233. We got the breakout. We got the level that we wanted in terms of the bounce of the 200 weekly MA. I think we had this from last week. We opened it on the 7th of June. So this was a carryover from last week. We filled that gap. Not only did we fill that gap, we broke above it. And 251.87 is my next alert for more upside to go to 261.32, which is the next fib. Again, just playing it safe ahead of CPI. We closed that for a modest gain. If we would have held, we would have got as much as 200%. So not bad at all to trade that Caterpillar. Let's go to AMD. We traded that. We opened that one on the 9th, which was last Friday. We carried it over the weekend. It closed at 120.08. We had the 130 calls. Let's break it down on the hourly. We got this from last week, Friday, right on that fib explaining that continuation. We got it. We got as high as 133, and then we faded. We are breaking down below this trend line, as we see. Maybe we get a retest of 115.81, so we can go ahead and maybe buy the dip or wait for a full retest of 109.51. The reason that AMD fell today was that it was switched up by Morgan Stanley, NVIDIA being the best chip maker. AMD was dethroned. So AMD didn't get the short end of the stick today. As we know, the NASDAQ was down 0.68%. So again, a lot of pullbacks across the board. Some gainers today, obviously, but you can see that NVIDIA, even in the same sector, NVIDIA was green today. So AMD being down. Thank you, Morgan Stanley. But we caught it. We caught it for, what was this, 40%. So let's go ahead and start taking a look here. Once you go ahead and take a look at everything that we do in terms of our charting and signals, we do put up the screenshots. So just a heads up. Again, I was up 8%, it was 13%. We took it. It got as high as 23%. But you could see here, we did soar anyway, so well done. Netflix, we also had. Netflix, we got 40. I had a worse price than you guys. Well, 36%. No, I got 36%. I got out. And let me see where that went. We went to on Netflix. We got as high as 135%. The 450 calls we got in June 9th. That was last week. Here's Friday, right here. And basically what we were looking at, I remember these questions very vividly, was the fact that are we going to continue to soar higher, and we use that trend line for that bounce just to get back to this channel. We did, and I think we got in the money. No, we didn't. 448.65, we did not get in the money. Do we have a little more room on Netflix? We do. There is a gap to fill at 505. We held this 50% fib, 431.85. A couple of gaps to fill. Maybe we retest 409, but let's see if we can get above 450 on Netflix. So let's place an alert at 450. And why do we want that alert there, guys? It's because there's a gap to fill on the daily. Check this out. Right here at 505.93. So again, a break of 450. We can play anything in between there, just depending on the actual volume that we get next week. I don't know why this didn't work. I don't know why my alerts are not working, but I'm pretty sure there's probably a good explanation for it. But that's Netflix for you. We did catch that. Again, that was for 36%. Wanted to clean up that risk. We had FOMC. And then we hit NASDAQ calls, the 370 calls for Friday. It went as high as 223% on June 14th. And again, you can see as high as we went to 372.26. That was our fib target. If we break above that, then we can place some calls. If we get a little bit of a pullback, we'll see what we can get. But again, all we did was buy the dip on Thursday, and that's what we played. We played the dip on Thursday. FOMC was running sideways, and then we started bouncing. So we played that run up. Well done. Let's see the screenshots if I can find it here. Had a worse fill than you guys, 32%. I got it at 101. Everyone got it at 96 cents, but profitable nonetheless. Runner when it started going, 140%, and then I updated everybody. And here's Disney, minus 100%, closed worthless. That's okay, and that's where we are for options. Not a ton of trading, interesting enough. We've been smacked up between two holiday weekends, Juneteenth and Memorial Day. So a little bit of sideways action. Even though the market has been soaring, it's not as easy as you think to trade that because you're trying to play momentum. We could reject at any time and we could pull back anytime, as you could see today. So a good reset, a good pullback. Again, dips are opportunities. That's what we're waiting for. That's how we close QQQ. We do have two more trades open in terms of the options side for next week. So we'll see. We'll play by ear on Tuesday, and we'll go from there. But an 80% hit rate for the week 4 to 5. Excellent, excellent work. Reading the 1L, that was 2 weeks ago. But anything that we opened recently, which was last week and this week, was perfect. So excellent. Let's go to Forex. Forex, 136 points, total pips. Euro dollar up 14, dollar yen up 55. The euro long 37 TP. Dollar yen we had today, we went long. I talked about that on YouTube this morning. It is currently open still, 30 pips currently. So let's go ahead and go to Forex alerts. And you could see that we have our entries here, we have our exits here, and again, charts and everything like that. And if you are interested in taking a look at that dollar yen setup that we did, then go ahead and take a look at our last morning note. This morning, I talk about it a little bit more. We got above that 141.50. We are now at 141.83. We got a little more room to go. We should be able to get to 144.91. So again, I don't know if the rest of the team is still holding, but I told everyone if anyone wanted the snack, we moved the stop to 141.50 anyways, which is our entry. So it's basically risk-free trading. That's what we're at currently. Let's take a look at euro dollar. That pulled back a little bit too today. But again, still hold on to that zone that I have around 109.37. Remember, we got into the euro dollar long at I think, what was the entry that we had that? The entry we had was 109. So again, my TP is 111. Again, if we get a break above 109.73 or 75, that gets us to 111. Let's see if we can get there. If we can get above 109.75, then I would go ahead and re-signal dollar yen for continuation to that 111 level. So really just two pairs that we played these past couple of days. But again, great. The most important thing with Forex and trading in general is just don't lose. So again, undefeated, I'll take it. I don't care how much it is. But again, the idea is not to lose. Well done, Forex team. Explanations and charts are on the chat room and on the actual channel itself. Futures as well. This is where on QQQ I really didn't mind about not getting two bags on that signal because we had NQ long and that hit 123 points when I took it. But again, it went as high as 281 points. Crude oil long, we played that bounce off that 200 MA. We've been talking about that for a while on the morning note. So you go to the day, actually the weekly on crude, and again, bouncing off the 200 weekly MA. We wanted to target, I mean, you may have a little more to go, maybe to 75. Let's go ahead and check it out on the daily. Yeah, see much consolidation. Good idea. We're above the 20 MA. Again, maybe we could target 73, 79. If we get above 72, which is the top end of crude oil's daily candle, then I would target around 74 to 74.77. My alerts are not coming up. It could be that TOS is just having issues, or because of OPEX is a new rollover. Who knows? I don't know the deal. But crude oil will be on my watch list for next week for playing a bounce as long as we stay above this purple line, which is the 20-day moving average on crude. Let's go and take a look at NASDAQ. NASDAQ absolutely on a tear. We'll take a look at the hourly. Just absolute mania at this point, which is great. I mean, to profit from, yes. And again, 15,284, that was our signal level 2. Let's go to futures on our screen here. And you can see that we sent it on the 14th, which was on Wednesday, right after the Fed, the decision at 3:53 p.m. 15,125, stop loss at 15,000. 15,285 was our target. It hit TP. It got as high as 15,548. This was for the newest contract, the September contract. So well done. to the squad for NQ. You can see where I closed here, but again, 281 points if you held. I did not. So awesome work all across the board. If you traded futures with us, if you traded Forex with us, and if you traded options with us. So very proud of the work we did this week. It's a week that, what dreams are made of. And here's the best part. Well, maybe the worst part. You start back at zero. It doesn't matter what happens the past week. You move on and you move forward and to the next weekend. Remember, it's a short week next week, so I don't expect a ton of trading. Remember the week we had Memorial Day week? I think we went like 1 for 1 with a Tesla call. So we really didn't do much. And even that was like pulling teeth. And now we closed that too early. Imagine that. We had the, 220 calls, if you guys remember. So let's go over some of the trades that I have open and what I'm watching. Since the Discord team is watching, obviously. We're looking at Palantir. Everything kind of pulled back. If this was only just a Palantir related issue, where it's only Palantir, there was some kind of headline, I'd be a little more worried, obviously. But Palantir, man, we have been trading that name now for months. So this is nothing new. And that's how it goes. It gets in the money, it kind of chops around, and it gets in the money and it chops around. We've been here before. So again, nothing has changed. We know our target range is 1714. We're taking a look towards that top end. We go to the daily. We can see that it's not a gap, but again, it's just the zone. And again, 1690 to around 1712. That's our level that we're looking for to go ahead and profit from. We didn't get a chance to even get there. We were in the money this morning, and then we had one big red candle right in the morning. Nothing we could do there, but we have been there before, and then just chopped around. So we held the 51-hour MA. That's okay, but really as long as we hold the 100 MA, because that's lining up with this here, with this trend line or this megaphone formation, whatever the hell you want to call it. But again, it is holding above. So we have the 17 calls. That's what we're looking for. Get back to that zone. I think we get it next week anyways. It's going to be very similar to the Caterpillars of the world, the Netflixes of the world, where everyone gets a little nervous, especially the new guys. We have a lot of new guys, but some of the OGs that have been with us for a while, they understand that good things sometimes take time. And I think a lot of people have this idea of instant gratification. It doesn't work like that. And I think that's why a lot of people like the same day expiries, because the saying goes, if I'm wrong, I want to know I'm wrong now, which is fine. But I think Palantir is great. I think Palantir is going to hit 17 next week, so no sweat there. Nike, I have calls and I'm green. I have hit Nike all week this week. If you guys have been following the tweets and the market blog and everything like that, I think I talked about it on Watch Us and Charts and for the masterclass too. But again, the gap fill level is here at 114.74. We got there and then it fell. So again, just like the market towards the end of the session, got very quiet, very sideways action, OpEx. So again, we'll go ahead and retest 114.70. By next week, we'll get to 115. Here's the deal, and this is why I'm kind of glad we didn't take it. Nike has as much as 116.84. I think that's where we go next week. That means that's in the money. If we get that on an overnight, that means bags. That's excellent. And here's the even more exciting thing. If this happens, and again, we don't know. We have one more gap to fill out, 121.72. So not bad if we're holding the 115s and we get to 121. Now, again, if we don't get there this week, but we get to 115 and we close, guess what? We have our next targets, 116.84 and, of course, 121.80. So we can look at this very similarly the way we play Palantir and these other names over and over and over. Again, Nike just needs volume. And again, it's not a tech company like, like an AMD where you're going to get tons of volume. But Nike is well known, and Nike obviously has been having great price action. You can see the 115s for next week, 5,000 in vol. The highest vol on the board, that's the ones we're in. So that's really a good sign if our contracts are the highest traded on the board. How about Palantir in terms of our options? How about next week's 16.5s, 17s, and 18s? Yeah, all have volume over 12,000. 15,000 on the 16.5s. You go on to the 30th, you're seeing that same levels, but there's also puts too. So again, you have other side as well in terms of the trade, but again, still leaning more toward the call side for Palantir. I have no doubt that we'll get both next week. So even with a short week, who knows? Maybe that's kind of all we do. We don't know. And for all we know, we soar or we tank and we can trade 9 times. Again, it just really depends. We will see what we get, but that's what I have open. In terms of the market, we're kind of in a summer snooze possible area. Once we get to the end of the year, end of the month, June tends to be very weak seasonally, and it is the end of the quarter. So again, if we get a little bit of a pullback, that is completely natural and that is completely normal. We'll just adjust accordingly. But if we're watching the S&P 500, do not mind this gap. This is a contract rollover. 4,500 is what we're looking for. If we go to SPX, which is a little cleaner, which is the S&P 500 spot, 45.34 is our next target. If we go ahead and zoom in here, you can see here we are on the daily, just an ugly daily candle today. But again, right around 44.14. That was the level we talked about on the blog, how important of a level that was. Here it is. Let me go and scroll up. You can see that we broke out. 45.34 is the next level. And I talked about this level here, 44.13, big level. See that trend line? You can see the top end of that, kind of that meeting of that level. And you could see here, we came back down. Check that out. So not exactly, let me see if I can extend this to the, I wouldn't want to extend it, make the chart look like crap. But again, this trend line, 1, 2, and then right here, that's what we're sitting on. So kind of an inflection point. We got to see what we get next week. The problem is that it's a short week. So we don't know how much volume is going to come in Tuesday at the open. But we'll just be ready for anything at that point. Long or short, doesn't matter. We're going to go ahead and profit from it. If we go higher, great. If we go lower, great. They're all opportunities. So one day at a time, one step at a time. What a week. If you've been trading with us, options, Forex, or futures, let's keep that momentum going into next week and then end the quarter strong. And we'll see where we get from there. Nick will send out the watch list for premium and masterclass this weekend. Monday, the markets are closed. I will be out of the office this weekend. Going to go ahead and just relax and kind of turn off the brain, enjoy the long weekend. Back to being fresh and ready to go on Sunday, open on futures. I don't see us opening anything, but again, just keeping an eye on it. We'll tweet it out. So have a great rest of your week. If you had a great week, congratulations. We really appreciate you being part of the service. And again, the best compliment, guys, is a referral. So again, if you have anybody you know that would love to learn or like to be part of the group, we would love to have them on board, and we would appreciate that very, very much. Have a great rest of your weekend, guys. Excellent, excellent. We're proud of everyone out there, and we will see you next Tuesday for the morning note. See you guys then.